This is a summary of player modes on the Rangecast player. Player modes are shown in the top bar here and control how the Rangecast player moves through time. The current mode is always highlighted in white. At the moment we're in monitor mode, and the name of the current mode is also shown in the lower left corner in the player display area. Monitoring mode is generally the most useful mode to use Rangecast in, and it will play content very close to real time. If in Rangecast it's possible to fall back in time if you have more than 60 seconds of audio coming in every minute because there's simply so much audio available to you. However, in monitoring mode, the player will enforce no more than 5 minutes fallback in time. Beyond that, it will start skipping transmissions in order to stay close to real time, either lower priority transmissions or shorter transmissions so you hear the most valuable content. And 5 minutes is chosen as a maximum fallback so that even if you get two fairly long transmissions, and transmissions can go up to about 2 minutes, that come in around the same time, you still have the ability to hear them both. If you want to make sure you hear all transmissions, you can use forward history mode, which is on the far right. These are the two most important modes known in the Rangecast player. Monitoring is on the left on this bar, and forward history is on the far right. And in this mode, every transmission will play in sequence. Nothing is skipped, so you're guaranteed to hear all the transmissions. But of course, in busy systems, it can mean you might fall backwards in time to some extent. Now, it's important to understand how these two modes relate. If you are in monitoring mode, you're by definition close to real time. And if you were to use the time slider here to move back, say, some distance, the player will automatically switch into the forward mode because you're no longer at real time, you're listening to something in the past. That's why it's called the forward history mode. This is typically most often used if you're going back in time and listening to a series of transmissions that previously occurred. If there is less than 60 seconds of audio coming in every minute, this will eventually catch up to real time and start playing transmissions in real time. A companion to forward history mode is reverse history mode, and in this mode the player will play transmissions going backwards in time. Each transmission plays followed by the one before that. This is useful if you're trying to find the beginning of an incident. You can play going backwards until you find the beginning transmission, or other situations where you're trying to move back and forth through a period of time to understand how events unfolded. After those modes, the next most important mode to know about is called snapshot mode, which is quite different from the other ones we've seen. In snapshot mode, you are presented with a block of transmissions from a certain period of time. It's not showing you new transmissions as they come in. You've just looked like a photo snapshot at a certain period of time. You get a long list of transmissions down here in the transmissions list bar that you can go through for the period of time that you're looking at. At the moment, we have transmissions from 6:13 p.m. to 7:55 p.m. shown, and you can adjust those boundaries if you want to go back and listen to an event. Say you want to listen to what happened between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. You can adjust the time accordingly. The other modes are generally not as important to know about, but very briefly, the one with the film symbol, replay sequence mode, will replay what you just heard. So if you hear something and you're not sure what transmission it was or where it came from, you can go there and you'll start playing the transmissions going backwards so you can find what it was you heard. And leading edge mode plays only transmissions immediately when they're first reported, does no buffering. That's generally not recommended, but it can be used if you want to get closer to current than monitoring mode. And that's a summary of the player modes available in the Rangecast player.